All right. It's 9 o'clock in the morning. What's up, nerds? It's your boy, the West Coast Grognard, the OG GM, the Scrub DM. And it's Saturday. It's 9 o'clock in the morning. It's the 24th day of September 2022. It's about 72 degrees and sunny here at Site B. And bam, what do we got here? It's Venger and his dad, Dungeon Master. Yep, spoilers. Dungeon Master was Venger's father. The whole series, all 2.5 seasons, is basically Dungeon Master forcing those kids to deal with Venger because Dungeon Master isn't enough of a man to actually deal with his own son. So instead, he tortures a bunch of kids that he kidnapped. Fun in the 80s, guys. So Wizards of the Coast, Target, and Disney, or whoever owns the rights to the images, have announced a limited edition action figure collection inspired by, quote unquote, inspired by the characters from the television show. I mean, say what you will about this, all this nonsense, and whether they are or are not, and how Wizards of the Coast and Target can get away with saying inspired by, and thus not get into any trouble. Who knows how much money has traded places between Hasbro and Disney and the actual owner to the rights. I'm sure legal people understand it. But you gotta, if nothing else comes out of the last year, and between the box set and the Magic set, and now this limited edition toy collection inspired by, this is probably the most attention the Dungeons and Dragons cartoon has ever received since, I don't know, when it was out. I mean, before this year, when was the last time it ever came up in a conversation? Before Dragons of Stormwick Isle and the limited edition Magic set, and now this, and the coincidentally 50th anniversary of D&D coming up, and the 20th anniversary of the cartoon coming up. I mean, before this year, when was the last time the Dungeons and Dragons cartoon came up in just casual conversations? Hey, Bill, what'd you have for lunch today? Oh, I had macaroni and cheese. And do you remember that episode of the Dungeons and Dragons cartoon? Nope, this doesn't happen. So, inspired by limited edition action figure set, we've got Venger and his dad. We've got Bobby and Uni. God, so many questions open up about Bobby and Uni. Like, why are Bobby and Uni not anywhere in Dragons of Stormwick Isle? And, how does a 12-year-old boy barbarian get a unicorn following them around, since unicorns normally only follow virgin females? So many questions that you ponder your brain when you're an adult. These are limited edition, so it's much like any other limited edition Target thing that Wizards of the Coast Hasbro makes available to them. There will be a small amount, a finite amount divided by a finite number of targets, which means your target may or may not have it. Even if the flyer says Target has it, it doesn't mean your target has it. It just means a target somewhere has it. That is an argument I had multiple times during my career as a Target employee with people. But the ad says you have that TV in stock. No, the ad says Target has the TV in stock. It doesn't say my Target has the TV in stock. It says a Target somewhere on the planet Earth has that TV in stock. It does not specifically state this Target. So, yes, it'll probably be the same thing. So before you get angry at Target for not having the action figures, call ahead to see if they're in stock, because they'll hold them for you to the end of the day. The figures also come with dice, and then a super large dice, and a couple other things. I don't know. Looks like we've got the archer dude, the monk acrobat dude. I don't know why they made her an acrobat, just so they could introduce a new class. They could have just made her a monk, and it would have just been fine. Right? Am I right? And Bobby and Uni, and of course the Venger and Dungeon Master. And let's face it, most people are only going to want to get Venger and Dungeon Master. The quality from this picture, not that great. I mean, compared to like Lightning Collection Power Rangers or some of the top tier action figures that Target puts out in the price range that these are going to be. These, I mean, not that great. I mean, geez, I've seen cake toppers that look better than these. But it could just be the quality of the picture. I don't know. I mean, the Venger looks okay, if very plasticky. The Dungeon Master definitely looks spot on, if a little creepy. The other figures look okay. I mean, they're not amazing. I've definitely seen better quality out of Hasbro. Now, interesting, at the last Hasbro post and at SDC, San Diego Comic-Con, Hasbro also showed us a bunch of action figures for the Wardukin guys. They were re-releasing the upgraded state-of-the-art figures for like Warduke and those dudes, and those figures looked amazing. They looked way better than this figures, but nobody's seen them in a Target yet or anywhere. And I've checked Target and Walmart because, dude, who doesn't want a Warduke? So if you are interested in action figures, if you have been dying to see some action figures using the latest up-to-date technology from Hasbro for D&D, inspired by a television show from the 1980s that Target now has, will have them shortly. They're $50 for a pack of 2. So not only are they limited edition, it's 2 figures per pack. And so again, finite number of each group of figures divided by a finite number of targets divided by, if you're familiar with this stuff and how this distribution of these limited edition things work, like one target somewhere in like the middle of Alaska is going to end up having the figures. And meanwhile, the Target in New York or LA, where you think the figures would be, they'll be like, yeah, no, we only got 2 and they sold out the second they were in stock, and no, we're not restocking them. But that Target in the minute of like Minnesota is like, oh yeah, we've got all the figures in stock. I'm surprised no one's come in to get them. Don't you know? That was my Minnesota Fargo accent, and that was awful. So yeah, I'm sure somebody out there is going to say, oh, this proves. No, it does not prove, because it says inspired by, which means, once again, Wizards of the Coast Hasbro say, nope, those aren't the kids from the show. We don't have the rights to the kids from the show or the images from the show. Disney has the rights, except for the characters we invented that were unique to us, like Tiamat. We've got the rights to Tiamat, but the kids, Venger, Dungeon Master, we have the rights to the word Dungeon Master, but the appearance, no, that's Disney. These are not them. They're inspired by them. They're an homage to them. And, people are going to go, well, I believe my eyes and they look just like them. Well, do you believe your eyes that, Red Bull gives you wings? Because it says right on Red Bull, it gives you wings. So do you believe Red Bull gives you wings? It's inspired by. And that allows people like me and Hasbro to say, wait, no, I'm sorry, not the kids, dude. Chill out. Disney has the rights. And I'm sure there has been some major deal between Disney and Hasbro to make these figures, because Hasbro probably makes a lot of the Disney action figures that we never hear about, because Hasbro owns a lot of factories that make action figures and toys. And we know Hasbro has a deal with Disney and Netflix because of My Little Pony and the other stuff. So yeah, these corporations cross palms with each other all the time. But screw that. Who's excited for a Venger action figure? I'm going to call it now. Venger will be the number 1 seller. And then probably Bobby and Uni will be number 2. The Cavalier, the Thief Chick will probably be number 3 seller. Then maybe Eric, because, everybody sort of liked Eric the Cavalier, because he was the only rational one in the entire group. Hey guys, let's not go there. Yeah, so yeah, but I bet the number 1 seller will be Venger, because let's face it, Venger was everybody's favorite character. He was cool, man. He was just a kid who was trying to get his dad's attention, man. Years of abuse and neglect at the hands of his dad. Yeah. I mean, there's so many deeply disturbing psychological things in the cartoon when you think about it. Stockholm syndrome. You kidnap these kids and now you're forcing them to do errands for you. Yeah. Yeah. I don't want to think about it anymore. I'm the OGGM. If you appreciate this nonsense, let me know. If you don't appreciate this nonsense, let me know. If you want to argue with me whether they are or are not the kids from the show, we can do that. If you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. And speaking of merch, don't forget that I have my very own merch. And who knows, maybe I'll make my own action figures someday. Till then, have a great weekend and get out of my Target, you damn dungeon master.